Two men climb a quiet Brazilian hillside carrying nothing more than a notebook, a plastic bag, two raincoats, and a pair of strange metal masks that cover only their eyes. They tell no one why they're going, they leave no explanation for what they're about to do, and days later, their bodies are found lying side by side in the grass with those same lead masks placed neatly over their faces. No injuries, no signs of struggle, and no apparent cause of death. Just two men and a mystery so strange that investigators have argued about it ever since. It's midnight somewhere, and tonight I have a story for you. In August of 1966, two Brazilian technicians, Manuel Pereira de Cruz and Miguel Jose Viana, left their city in Brazil for what they told their families was going to be a business trip. Both men were electronics repair specialists, intelligent, methodical, and known for their interest in scientific experiments. But they also had a fascination for something else: spiritualism, paranormal studies, and particularly the idea of contacting spirits through science and electricity. Friends said that they were part of a group that was dedicated to scientific spiritualism, a movement blending electronics with the supernatural. And this small detail may be the key to everything that happened next. On August 17th, the two men boarded a bus heading towards a small town on the coast near Rio de Janeiro. Their movements after getting off the bus are only partially known. They bought raincoats, they purchased a bottle of water from a local shop, and according to the shopkeeper, Miguel looked nervous, glancing at the clock often as if they were late for something very important. Later, the two men were seen walking up Morro do Ventum, a steep, isolated hillside overlooking the city. They carried no food, they carried no camping gear, and they carried no weapons. They only carried their raincoats that they had with them, the water bottle, a notebook, and a handful of tools, and also two handcrafted lead eye masks that looked like something out of a science fiction film. Now, what happened next is completely unknown, but what was discovered later makes this case one of the strangest mysteries that South America has ever seen. So 3 days later, on August 20th, a young man who was flying a kite at the time noticed something unusual in the tall grass. And unfortunately, it was two bodies side by side, neatly positioned, faces covered with those strange lead masks that they had carried up the hill. They were lying peacefully side by side as if they were asleep. Now, there was no signs of violence, there was no signs of any sort of struggle, and there was no obvious cause of death. Next to them, investigators found two towels. They also found the empty water bottle, and they found the raincoats that the guys were wearing, and also a small notebook containing a single eerie instruction. And it was written 4:30 p.m, ingest capsules, after effect, protect metals, wait for signal. Capsules, protect metals, wait for the signal. 3 handwritten clues, and not one of them explains what actually happened. So investigators, scientists, and paranormal researchers have tried for decades to understand the meaning of the lead masks and the men's final trip. So one of those theories is that it was actually a failed scientific experiment. Some believe that Manuel and Miguel were attempting a kind of experimental radiation or energy contact. Lead masks can protect the eyes from intense light or radiation, and if the men expected some sort of blinding signal, perhaps an electrical flash or spiritual phenomenon, the masks might have been there for their protection. But no equipment was ever found, no machines, no tools, nothing scientific, just the masks. There was another theory that it was a ritual or some sort of spiritual attempt. Because both men practice scientific spiritualism, some investigators believed that they were attempting to contact spirits or communicate with other realms. The note about ingesting capsules suggests that they may have taken something toxic without realizing it. But no capsules were found near their bodies, and toxicology reports were inconclusive because the remains, unfortunately, were examined too late. Another possibility is that it was a hoax or there was some sort of foul play involved, and that the meeting on the hill was arranged by somebody else or some sort of third party who told the men that they would experience a signal or make contact with something beyond the physical world. If that person planned to harm them, the isolated hillside would have been a perfect location. But again, no evidence of violence was ever found. Now, another theory is that this might be a misinterpretation gone wrong, and this is, at this stage, the most grounded theory. The men may have believed they needed to perform a ritual or some sort of experiment to advance their spiritual studies, and they followed handwritten instructions that may have been provided from a mentor or a follow-up from a previous experiment. They took something, maybe a sedative, maybe something stronger, and they laid down to wait for whatever they thought that was coming. And unfortunately, they never woke up. To this day, no one truly knows why the masks were made, what the capsules were that were ingested, or what signal the men were waiting for. Simply two men walked up a hill with scientific curiosity and spiritual conviction and became part of one of Brazil's most haunting and unsolved mysteries. The lead masks are now locked away in evidence, silent relics of a moment that has defied explanation for almost 60 years. Two bodies, two masks, and a signal that never came. If you like dark stories told at midnight, subscribe. I drop 3 new mysteries every single week, and until then, I'll see you at midnight.